Picture this. It's a stunningly crisp, cinematic scene right out of the ancient world. You've got the very first light of dawn breaking over these weathered city stones. Then, the harsh, shimmering heat of midday rising off the pavement. And finally, that sudden, profound quiet as the streets completely empty out at nightfall. But what you can't see in this picture, what's completely invisible to the naked eye, are the forces of judgment. They're moving through the physical world like automated security programs, scanning a vast, wide-open network. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing a deep dive into ancient Kabbalistic architecture. We're going to uncover exactly how these texts describe the mechanics of cosmic threat, system vulnerability, and the ultimate spiritual protection protocols.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're starting our journey today with a profound mystery rooted deep in the Zohar, specifically Parashat Vayeshev, which actually echoes the ancient words of the prophet Isaiah. Go, my people, enter your chambers and shut your doors behind you. Now, you might be wondering, why did the ancient mystics view the open public square as this highly dangerous, completely exposed zone that required literal and spiritual concealment? Well, the answer lies in understanding that our physical world is layered over a highly complex and honestly sometimes volatile spiritual network. And stepping outside, it means leaving your secure perimeter.
So, here is our system diagnostic menu for today. We'll be looking at the windows of cosmic judgment, the mechanics of divine energy, the danger in the open, entering your inner chambers, the ultimate spiritual firewall, and we'll wrap up with balancing your personal dimensions. Let's get right into it.
Part 1. Windows of Cosmic Judgment. Navigating the System Vulnerability.
And this brilliantly illustrates the 3 daily moments when cosmic energy violently fluctuates. Think of the cosmos like a massive, intricate computer network. Just as a network server has vulnerability windows where malicious software might strike, the Kabbalistic source code reveals that the universe has very specific times when destructive forces actively scan exposed users who are hanging out outside the safety of the firewall. The scanning process kicks off at dawn. That's when the system wakes up and the initial sweep happens. But it's during the midday heat, the time traditionally set for the Mincha prayer, that we hit absolute peak vulnerability. And finally, at nightfall, there's a massive system reset. We really need to be hyper-aware of these specific times.
To truly understand what is scanning us out there, we've got to define din. Now, din translates roughly to judgment, but in our cosmic tech analogy, it's a strict, unyielding regulatory force operating in Malchut. And Malchut represents the physical realm, the completely exposed public domain. Stepping into Malchut without proper spiritual shielding, it's exactly like logging your personal phone or laptop onto an exposed, unencrypted public Wi-Fi network at a coffee shop. These forces of din are just constantly pinging and scanning this network, looking for any spiritual vulnerabilities.
Part 2. Mechanics of Divine Energy. The Sephirot explained.
So how is this entire cosmic network actually built? Well, according to the Pardes Rumanim, which is a really extensive Kabbalistic text, these energies are strictly color-coded through 10 channels of divine attributes. On the left side of the cosmic tree, we've got Gevurah, and that's represented by the color red. This is your strict judgment, severe threat protocols, and dangerous public exposure. But on the right side, we have Hesed and Bina, represented by pure white. This is mercy, compassion, and that sheltering, safe concealment you find indoors. The intense red energy is the threat, and the bright white energy, that's your sanctuary.
Let's break down this mechanics list a bit further. As we said, Gevurah is the strict threat protocol. Then you have Malchut, which is the totally exposed public domain at the very bottom of the structure. Moving up, Yesod acts as your foundational protection layer, funneling energy safely. Sephirot is absolutely crucial here. It's the balancing force, the harmonizing center that bridges the extreme red and white. But what about the ultimate shelter? That, my friends, is Bina. Bina provides this essential, dark, encrypted sanctuary. It's a hidden space where judgment literally just cannot penetrate.
Part 3. Danger in the Open. The Threat of Visibility.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it maps the Zohar's warning about the afternoon hours. Look at the midday heat baking the city streets. The text warns us that during these afternoon hours, the exact time of the Mincha prayer, the intensity of din hits its absolute peak. In the morning, it's low, right? It's mitigated by the mercy of Hesed. In the evening, it resets back to a medium level. But that midday, afternoon stretch, that represents the highest crest of cosmic judgment. Mathematically speaking, it is the absolute most dangerous time of day to be spiritually exposed in the public square.
As the Book of Grace to Abraham points out, in the marketplace, forces of din stand at crossroads, waiting to attach to those exposed. Think about that. Stepping into the marketplace is literally like connecting to public Wi-Fi without a VPN. Malicious spiritual code, these roaming forces of din we've been talking about, they actually wait at the crossroads, looking for exposed targets to attach to. They are just sitting there, waiting for someone to carelessly broadcast their spiritual data. No way you want to be caught out there unprotected.
Part 4. Enter your inner chambers, the encrypted safe space.
So the crucial point is, how do we actually survive this environment? Well, concealment equals protection. Moving from the exposed public square into the inner chamber shifts your soul into a state of encrypted hiddenness. Modesty here isn't just some quaint social concept. It's not just about how you look. It's about how you act, speak, and exist. It forms a literal encrypted chamber for the soul's safety. By hiding yourself, you drop completely off the radar of din.
And the text known as the Gate of Intentions gives us the precise mechanics for this retreat. It's a 3-step process. 1. You pause at the door with awe. You don't just rush blindly across the boundary. 2. You invoke Hesed, the divine mercy, by reciting specific verses, which effectively changes your spiritual frequency. And 3. Only then do you enter the protected space. It's not a casual thing. It is a systematic, highly intentional procedure for crossing the threshold from severe judgment right into absolute mercy.
Part 5. The ultimate spiritual firewall, hardware of the soul.
Of course, any good sanctuary needs an active perimeter defense. The sources view the Mezuzah not merely as a physical symbol, but as active cosmic hardware. And there's this really surprising detail from a text called The Passing of the Sapphires. It reveals that there are exactly 365 forces stationed at the door. That's one for every single day of the solar year, and they are constantly monitoring the threshold. This isn't just a passive lock on a door. This is a massive, complex, automated security array running 24/7 right at the boundary of your inner chamber.
Let's actually walk through how this firewall sequence plays out. Step 1. A destructive threat approaches the threshold of your home. Step 2. The divine name, Shaddai, which is written on the outside of the Mezuzah, acts as encrypted verification. The Zohar describes how the destructive force looks up, sees the name, and realizes, oh, I have absolutely no jurisdiction here. In Step 3, the threat is instantly repelled and flees. It functions exactly like a high-grade network firewall blocking unauthorized server access. It's incredible.
Part 6. Balancing your personal dimensions, multi-gen application.
So how do we explain this high-level cosmic engineering to everyone in our lives? For the kids, we use a video game analogy. Tell them it's a stealth mission. To avoid the roaming forces of judgment, you've got to stay completely out of the enemy's line of sight by staying in your secure base. For adults, it's all about cosmic engineering and metadata protection. By practicing modesty and staying out of the exposed public square, you're consciously limiting the exposure of your soul's metadata in those vulnerable realms of Malkut.
Let's move to Sephirot and see how this builds a highly effective daily strategy for optimal spiritual allocation. Ideally, we should be dedicating about 50% of our energy to concealment and binah, those hidden, modest, encrypted safe spaces we talked about. Then 30% goes to balanced mercy or Sephirot, and only 20% should really be allocated to public action and malchut. The takeaway here? We have to intentionally prioritize the hidden over the exposed to maintain our system's integrity.
I want to leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up our analysis today. Ask yourself, are you carelessly leaving your spiritual metadata exposed in the public square, totally vulnerable to the midday heat? Or are you actively, intentionally building an encrypted chamber for your soul?
Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.